Um, the local dog catcher at that point has a duty, a constitutional duty, as a minister of the government, to intercede on your behalf when somebody who has a senior position over them is telling them to do something that's unconstitutional. That's wrong. And so we have to make sure we're not making the mistake that I'm having a cordial conversation with my elected representative, whether they're again the county commission, city council, mayor, sheriff. And I'm not knocking your sheriff, Terry. Don't get me wrong. I have never met the man. Maybe I will have a conversation with him. I get the chance. What I'm saying is that this applies to police officers, this applies to sheriff's deputies, this applies to community service officers, this applies to the janitor in the school district or the county commission. They have a duty to intercede. They have a duty to interpose themselves between you and the higher ups. And what all of them are doing, and you're seeing this play out in Sherburne County, is they're saying nice things to you. Not all of them, but some of them. But nobody's interposing. Except, Terry, on Tuesday, your situation, that didn't play out exactly the same way as it has for others. Because you were physically removed. And you told me, and let's just be honest and transparent in this conversation. You said you were a little uncomfortable with the video because it didn't have a good look.
It was pretty ugly.
And I'm sitting here, sweetheart. I'm telling you, you go and watch where the and I say sweetheart in an endearing way, not the passive aggressive way. You watch the guy who tried to manhandle me in Rochester. It was a lot uglier than what happened to you, and it didn't even go on for as long. You were bold, my dear. It's like you were Tiananmen Square. I'm telling you right now, you were Tiananmen Square. Okay, and that guy was a tank.
he is larger than me. Yes.
Like
he's a very.
I have a pair of boots that's larger than you, Terry.
He's a very nice man, though. I think it was not a good decision, but he is a nice person.
I'm not arguing that.
And our sheriff's department is good. Because
sheriff's office, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Sheriff's office. I'll explain that in a different video sometime. There's a difference between a department and an office. The sheriff's office is independent of the county. The sheriff is his own person. Nobody has authority over him.
Yep.
Except for the budget. But anyway, so you were removed, and in the process of being removed, you're like, what am I going to do? But you had contact with a member of the sheriff's office, a deputy.
Yep.
And I would like to applaud that deputy. Can you tell me who that was?
Chief Deputy Duran, and he's an amazing person. He is.
So I just want people to understand, you were removed by a captain, and the chief deputy stepped in.
I don't know what you mean by that.
So the person that removed you from the room was wearing captain's bars on his collar. So he's one under. He is one under the chief deputy. So the only person above the captain is the chief deputy, and the only person above is the chief deputy and the sheriff, and the only person above the chief deputy is the sheriff. So the chief deputy saw the situation, had a conversation with you, and ultimately approached, according to what you told me, approached the county administrator, the appointed, not the elected, the appointed county administrator, and had a conversation. While we cannot be sure of what was said, that this is why this is very important. Chief Deputy Duran interposed himself between you and other public authorities. I hate that term, but these civil authories.
He defended my First Amendment liberty.
He defended your First Amendment liberties.
I think he's a fantastic. He's a fantastic person, and when my Sheriff Brott steps down, I think Chief Deputy Duran would be an amazing sheriff.
Well, you just shot his chances of getting elected. You can't be a radical and say something nice like that. Now he's never gonna get. He might be jobless tomorrow. I'm kidding.
See, I believe my sheriff knows that it's a constitutionally elected representative of the people. I learned that from Chris Ann Hall of Liberty First Society.
So I want to commend Chief Deputy Duran. That was a phenomenal move on his part, and bravery. And I can speak from personal experience here. What he did is terribly risky.
Yes.
Terribly risky.
Yes.
Because even though that captain answers to him, that captain can file a formal complaint against him and say he had no business doing that. And I had superiors who would come in and change my decisions for me. But I want people, not only do I want them to contact the county government, the county commissioners by name, and it's in the description of this video, and I will make sure that people see it. I want people to contact the county commissioners. I want the people to contact the county auditor. I want the people to contact the county administrator, and even the county attorney, because the county attorney needs to be involved in this. And I also want them to contact Sheriff Brott. But not only do I want people to address what was done wrong that day, because whether or not that captain is a nice person, they made a bad decision and it needs to be addressed. It does. It needs to be addressed. I'm not saying he should be fired. That's not my point. I think there needs to be some education done. The sheriff's office, and Rick, if you think I'm wrong, back me up on this, but I think the sheriff's office needs to have an established policy where they talk about this. We will not infringe on people's constitutional rights, their liberties.
And
no
not
matter
only
who's
that-
in charge. I don't care if it's the president that calls down here and says it. We're going to tell them no. But I also want people to contact the sheriff and say, Sheriff, your chief deputy is a phenomenal stand-up man, because that right there is a good cop.